All right, this is a WBO lightweight heavyweight championship bout. You're ready to receive your instructions. I want you to obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck, guys.
For Sergey Kovalev, Roy, this is the last obstacle between big names, Bernard Hopkins, and the big money that goes along with them. For Blake Caparello, this is his chance to make a name for himself in the boxing world, because until tonight, he hasn't had one.
Let's do it.
My hat goes off to Blake Caparello for even accepting a fight to this magnitude.
Kovalev comes out stalking. Caparello at least putting the right hand out there. The lead hand, his jabbing hand, creating a little distance, trying to get the range.
The main thing we all want to see is how he reacts to Kovalev's power. That will tell us what type of night it's going to be for him.
This is a lightly attended affair, considering especially how vicious Kovalev has knocked out his last 8 opponents, how viciously he's done it. He seems to have created some excitement among hardcore boxing fans, but not enough to bring them out tonight. Might be because no one expects Caparello to provide much competition. But there he is, taking the initiative, leading with the left hand.
That was a good right body shot by Kovalev in this round just a second ago. But Blake is coming out, you know, giving it an effort, a good effort.
Caparello with that long right jab, but he brings it, Roy, back down below his hip against a puncher like Kovalev.
He does, but until he warms up, Kovalev is not going to catch him with that early.
Kovalev hasn't really thrown his shots with force yet, more like range finders, probing Caparello's defense. Looking for reactions to feints.
Low blow by Caparello. Oh! And Caparello dropped him.
Yep, that's going to count. Yep, she's counting as a knockdown.
7, 8.
Second knockdown of Sergey Kovalev's career already. Darnell Boone knocked him down. Darnell Boone locks a lot of guys down. Kovalev got up to win that fight and then smoked Boone in the rematch.
Let him go. Let him go.
Well, that should piss him off pretty good, knowing that Bernard Hopkins is sitting ringside. And that should be a big confidence builder for Blake.
Kovalev seemed to go down because he was squared up to Caparello when the punch landed.
He was. He went straight back, a mistake that normally is not made, but tonight he may make a few mistakes because of the situation at hand.
Kovalev properly warned there, Roy, for a rabbit punch. Hit him right in the back of the head. Saw the target and threw the punch anyway. Maybe a little sign of frustration.
Well, frustration and the fact that you got Bernard Hopkins sitting here at ringside. This is the bad part about having this much pressure put on you. All those things are actually the things that happen when you see a person like Bernard Hopkins at ringside, knowing that y'all have to fight next.
I think Bernard Hopkins is seeing certain flaws exposed in Kovalev so far in this first round.
He's trying. I don't know that he's seen it, but he's trying.
Take your time, go behind that jab, and then go to the body. Don't forget the body for me, okay? Don't forget the body. Okay, use that good jab. Big breath.
Here you see Kovalev, the front foot gets stepped on by Blake's front foot, and he goes down. That could have caused him to lose balance. But at the same time, you can't take it away from Caparello because that was a clean punch right there, as you see. So the two things together caused the knockdown, and once again, I think all of that is just part of the fact that he has that added pressure on him right now.
I got to say, I disagree with the call, having seen now the replay. Although the punch did land, I think that Caparello's lead foot on Kovalev's lead foot is the reason he went down.
Could have very well been the reason.
Nevertheless, a 10-8 round for Caparello.
And Kovalev did finish that round very strongly, though.
Caparello, you see circling the way an orthodox fighter would circle. That is to say, clockwise rather than counterclockwise, what you'd expect from a southpaw normally. But he normally circles that way, Caparello.
Yeah, that's what he normally does. He's a guy like me. I like to do the opposite of what they tell you to do against the southpaw. So he likes to go to his left instead of going to the traditional right. But Kovalev is starting to warm up a little bit now. Starting to have a good time. Oh, great body shot.
I mean, that is the kind of power Kovalev has always displayed. Caparello doing very well, it seemed, in the first round and a half, and one shot to the body with the right hand by Kovalev. Down he goes.
And like I said, he's warming up now. He's starting to get in that groove. So you knew it was just a matter of time once you saw him warming up like that.
2 minutes to go in the round, plenty of time. Caparello seems to have his wits about him, motioning Kovalev in, and Kovalev obliges.
Not too smart to motion Kovalev in like that with your back against the ropes.
Referee Sparkle Lee, I believe, correctly ruling that a knockdown. It looked like Caparello's knee hit the canvas, and in comes Kovalev. Looking for openings, not throwing everything with maximum force. Caparello down again and waved off.
And a great wave off.
Typical Sergey Kovalev, Roy, faced with an undefeated challenger. Mows him right down. Not that Caparello was considered a live underdog here tonight, but he is primarily a defensive fighter. He's a southpaw. He has a long reach, and guys like that can make it difficult and awkward for an offensive fighter. But Kovalev manages to just walk right through, it seems, any kind of style with which he's been presented so far in his professional career.
He's all business, always right on point. You just couldn't ask for a more professional type of a guy than Kovalev. So I'm so glad for him and Kathy Duba to see him finally get this shot at somebody like a Bernard Hopkins.
What must Bernard Hopkins be thinking right now?
He's very happy to get the fight over with because he doesn't want to see any mistakes. This is going to be a big payday for him. So here you see the straight right lead to the body. He looked up and came down with the straight right lead. Blake let him get too close to him, and that's why I say he was warming up, because I realized he was getting in punching range, and Blake hadn't realized it. Great body shot right down the middle. You couldn't ask for a more perfectly placed punch.
And it looks like he just touched him with it. Like the end of the punch just touched him, but it collapsed him.
Yeah. Then you see Kovalev on the attack. And once again, he's too close. And Blake doesn't know it. If there's a straight right lead right down the middle, that shot hurt him bad, followed by a semi-left hook on the back of the head. The referee did a great job to step in and call that a knockdown.
That was the second one.
Yes.
Kovalev winds up that right hand like as a bolo punch before he throws it. We see that from slick boxers, rarely from punchers. This is the end of the fight, Roy.
Yeah, that was that straight right hand again. And once he started landing that, it's pretty much a good night for whoever is in his way. You can't let a guy like Kovalev, who's known as a puncher, line you up with his crushing punches.
Kovalev shows really utter contempt for opponents he feels have nothing for him. And since the Darnell Boone fight, their first fight, no one has had anything for him. Let's go up to Joe Antonucci for the official verdict.
Boxing fans, the time. 1 minute and 47 seconds of round number 2. Your referee, Sparkle Lee, calls a halt to the contest. Your winner by TKO and still WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Sergey the Crusher